Hey everybody, welcome to the channel if you are new, and welcome back if you're already a subscriber. There's a couple new folks in here, so I'm really excited about that. This is a little bit different of a setup and a start for a video for me. So my desk is super messy and we've got this pretty mermaid looking layout thing going on. So I spent most of the day on Instagram Live, on and off. I mistakenly put it to a vote on Instagram, so that was part of the problem, but a secondary problem came into play when I found out that you cannot live stream on YouTube unless you have 1,000 subscribers. So until we get to that point, I don't think I'm gonna go live anymore, at least not for Plan With Me videos, strictly because it takes a lot for me to be able to set aside the time to actually go live. It's not as simple as me being able to paint for a little while, let something dry, come back to it, and film when I'm actually doing the process. So that's kind of part of it, but I also don't have a lot of time, even though I'm in quarantine or stay in place, whatever it is. I don't have a lot of time where I'm not trying to do something else at the same time, especially on the weekends. My boyfriend and I are always pretty much doing something. I lucked out today that I could take the time to go live. And unfortunately, there were glitches. There were a lot of people that I think were busy. So it just didn't work out. So long story short, I am filming this after the fact. And to just kind of educate that if you missed out on it, no worries, we're gonna flip through it and talk about everything. So I'm gonna move this stool so I don't step over it. So I'm gonna do my best to pull the product in as I go. And there's also gonna be a new way that I'm shooting Plan With Me that I'm really excited about. I'm gonna do it with June. So we'll see how it goes and what you guys think. So the first thing I want to do is flip backwards, actually. So this is an area that I have not really talked that much about in my Plan With Me videos because I always forget about it. And this is my tracker page. I show it off in the prep video when I prep my Hobonichi for the year, because I kind of set it up a little bit at that point. I always have the same things that I track every single month. That are my steps, my power hours, my water, if I work out or not, and if I stay in my calorie range or not. Everything after that, I leave open for me to put in things that I want to focus on that month. So for this month, it was Mile a Day May. I don't want to talk about it. Mermay, also don't want to talk about it. That's a lie. Okay, so Mile a Day May is a really cool thing, and I we'll add all that info in as well, along with my Instagram handle. No, I don't have corona. I have terrible sinuses. So spring hits me pretty hard. So if I clear my throat or sneeze, don't freak out, I'm okay. But Mile a Day May is really cool. It's exactly like what it sounds like, doing a mile every day in May. Number 2 is Mermay. Obviously, people know I shouldn't say obviously. Wow. Okay, I think I got it out that time. So Mermay is something that I am really not 100% sure who started it. There are tons and tons of versions of promptless, ways you can do it. I've seen everything from people just going rogue and deciding to draw a different kind of mermaid every day and just kind of practice their skills. I've seen people use promptless. I personally use Jane Davenport's. She was the first person I did Mermay with. I did it last year. And I noticed that some of the prompts are recurring. So I really want to see how I interpret that particular prompt a year later. And I'm going to try to do them on a smaller scale so that I can still use the page to journal in, because I didn't do that last year. So that's Mermay. I am in the process of getting licensed for my life and health insurance, so making sure I study at some point of the day. So an hour a day on that. I am behind in both Hobonichi, so I made a spot for both of them. So that's my list. I do need to update it. I keep track of that pretty well, actually, before it even goes in the tracker. The way that I do my lines so that they make this little design, I have been wondering where I saw it, how I got it for quite some time, and then I realized it was Journal with a Purpose. She posted something a while back ago of her tracker again, and then I remembered. So that was exciting. So that's my tracker page. I don't really show it off at the beginning of every video, but I want to start kind of letting you guys in on whatever my extra stuff is for the month. If it's something that you guys might want to participate in, it'll be open for you there. I am going to upload this today, and then I am going to do my absolute best, if I have enough time before he gets home and we get settled for the evening, to do a voiceover of a new bag tour that I did recently and get that up for you. I'm 2 weeks behind on videos, basically. If I get this video and that video uploaded, I'll be back to current. I'm going to strive to give you guys one video a week, preferably on a Friday. I've just been in a funk, so I was behind on doing my plan with me. I was behind on everything. I was really run down after April. I had a lot going on and a lot of crafting, and I just needed to take a break for a couple days, and then I got in a really bad headspace, and here we are. So I'm gonna try to get back on the horse and be there for you guys. So that's enough about my tracker page. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down below in the comments. I'm happy to answer. So now we get to my monthly spread. So I use my monthly spread for two things. I track bills down this side, and I track fitness through here. It's very rare that I work out on a Saturday or Sunday because typically we're doing things. That's our workout schedule is Monday through Friday. So I felt okay with putting my little merman over here on this side. I used the Tim Holtz stencil. I just love this because it's not even. That's what makes it so great. And then various inks. I have put them all away to clean up a little bit of the desk while paint was drying, so I don't have them in front of me. If I were to guess, it's probably like Salty Ocean, Peacock Feathers, and I feel like there was something else in there at the time, but I can't think. It might have been like a lighter green even, not 100% sure, but that's kind of the gist of it. Then I used these stamps to get this little kind of foliage effect down at the bottom, and I used different inks. So I think there's Tea Dye, Fossilized Amber, I think there's Forest Moss, The Abandoned Coral, Stormy Sky, I think is the name of that one. So those stamps, as well as my little merman, are all from the Catherine Moore Paper Dolls art stamps, the Clearly Constructed. I was saying this in the live, I don't think that this company sells. I have always gotten them at stamp shows or scrapbooking shows. So I don't actually know if there's an online platform. I will try to look that up, and if I find something, put it down below. I have several different styles or paper dolls from her. That's where I got the tail from that I used for him. And it's actually two different tails. So I used the one that would kind of fit him, and then I still had to kind of give him some extra hip. And then there was this really funky tail, so I just kind of used it. And then I painted him in with watercolors. I just used the Distress inks for the foliage. I think they turned out pretty good. If I were to do it again, my original idea was to not have him have that like scaled background. It was just white. But I got a little overboard with the stencil. So that's how that happened. I mostly use Jane Davenport watercolors, and that's mostly what you will see. Anything kind of metallic or shimmery outside of a gold is usually Daniel Smith, and it's the Jean Haynes set that they came out with together. I highly recommend that set. It's very beautiful. I'm currently making a wish list and planning for hydrocolors. I think that's going to be kind of my next artsy type purchase once I get a couple things for the Etsy shop to work on some summer style books that I really want to do. At the top, I hand lettered "Beach bodies are made in quarantine." I don't know. I feel like you're on one end of the spectrum or the other. Either you're eating everything in sight and Netflix and chilling, or you are taking this time at home to make healthier choices, maybe work out a little bit more regularly, whatever the case may be. I would say I'm falling somewhere honestly in the middle. I'm actually sticking to my workout, so that's really great. But because my boyfriend and I both love to cook and we're at home and we have more time to cook, we're enjoying that, which even though it's home cooked food, we're probably eating a little bit more than we normally would. I know I certainly am, so my calorie intake is a little whacked out. So I'm really trying to find that balance before I go back to work. I think one of the bigger concerns that I have, and a lot of the reason that I've been in a funk, is the thought process that I'm having with reacclimating back to going to work and how that's going to change my life. And unfortunately, I'm not really thrilled about it. I feel like I'm going to get off my workout routine and it's going to mess that up, and I'm not going to have as much time to craft, and I'm whinging a little bit more than I want to about it. So that's a little insight into that, at least part of the funk. There's multifaceted funk going on. If you'll notice, I did do a little bit of splattering. Ever since I finished up with Muggle Studies, I have been on a splattering kick. I love to splatter beforehand, but so this is it. All I have to do is go back and put my bills, which I do after a Plan With Me video. I think in the past I've covered it in videos when I do a flip through in the end. It's just personal information, but I will always leave my little fitness tracker open. If you're looking for something to do at home that is very, very inexpensive for workout, I use Body Boss. You can buy a book and go digital, I think for like 30 or 40 bucks. And it's great because it'll have like a pre-training thing at the beginning and then 12 weeks of regular training. So you get like a bonus 4 weeks out of it, which is pretty cool. And I'm doing really well with keeping up with that. It's very easy to follow. Monday and Wednesday, you have like full workouts. Tuesday, you typically do like yoga or a walk or stretching. Thursday, you do cardio. And then Friday, it's like this quick, super fast-paced workout that's like 6-7 minutes long. So it's been super great. I don't love a long workout. I love effective and easy to do, or easy to fit into your schedule is what I'm trying to say. This is probably already way chattier and longer than I intended, but I'm trying to explain lots of things. I'm just trying. Okay, so I want to talk about 2 different styles that I've tried. This is really sloppy, and the puppy's coming down the stairs if you hear a strange noise in the background. Hey, puppers. She might need me to let her outside though. So we're gonna hold off a quick second. Let me show her outside. I'm treating this a little bit like a live, I think, because I've been on live all day. Okay, so 2 different things that I've tried recently just to play with. Number 1, this kind of style of putting a heading down the side and then tasks in each section. So I had my reminders, which I've always and forever loved using the top as a reminders. So it's a perfect place to put birthdays, anniversaries, anything pertinent. So like Shred It was supposed to come that day, and obviously with COVID, they've postponed it. So then I had an Etsy kind of craft section. So if I needed to do something for the Etsy shop, or if I needed to start working on something, I threw it there. Work. So things that I needed to do during work, personal, and then my workout has always been at the bottom, and I like it that way. Obviously, I had stamped this when I did the Plan With Me April, so I still had to kind of navigate around them. I realized very quickly I do not like this style. I think it is very pretty, but I do not think it is effective for me. This way. So I did some to-dos down the side and then decided that I would just color in the block as I did it. I still kept with important things at the top and workouts at the bottom. Because this page was not stamped, because I've been in the funk and not done my plan with me, I had free range of the page again, and I kind of liked it. Also, I'm changing up my handwriting a little bit. So normally I write in all caps. This probably doesn't matter, but I'm gonna call it out anyway. And I'm kind of mixing it up between uppercase, lowercase, whatever feels comfortable. It kind of makes me think of like Amy Tangerine a little bit, how she'll go between uppercase, lowercase when she brush letters. And I'm really enjoying it. I think it's bubbly and it makes me happy. And right now, if it makes me happy, I'm trying to kind of run with it because, like I said, I've not been in the best headspace, and I'm really just trying to find those little happy moments. So I really liked this. I need to go back and highlight the things that I've done. I need to get better at my planning at the top of the hour or top of the day with my cup of coffee, and then assessing at the end of every day. And I've not been doing that well. I would say when I first started with Hobonichi, I was fantastic at it. I've fallen off over the last year. And I've really wondered and thought to myself, do I need to stay with Hobonichi? Is this still a good fit? And the answer is yes. Even though the paper can sometimes pose a problem, this is definitely my planner piece. Having it set up the way that I like, I just need to be more effective at using these tools, because the reality is that I'm always gonna want an hour by hour daily. I'm always gonna want a daily page to journal on now. I'm always gonna want a monthly, and I'm always gonna want it in one book. I have contemplated bullet journaling and alternative journaling styles and kind of create your own so many times over the last 2 years. But the reality is I'm not always going to have the time and the energy to put into really making it from scratch. Even though I would love to, and I think it would be beautiful and wonderful to see it evolve, I don't know that I would be the best at pre-planning. And sometimes I need it already configured several months in advance so that I can plan something or put something down in the correct space. And you can't really do that in a bullet journaling sense that I've seen or found, because you kind of need an open-endedness, if you will, to put in those. Your journaling can be however long you want. If you need an extra page for something, whatever the case may be, it just doesn't, I still need this structure. So for now, I'm still planning to stay in Hobonichi, obviously through 2020. I don't have any thoughts of changing come 2021 either. So no one freak out if you were. So that being said, I did not, that was a very long-winded explanation, I feel like. But I'm chatty because no one was on my Instagram lives, at least the last 2. It was very strange. So I did not stamp anything for May at all. And then here we are in June. So normally I would stamp using my Studio L2E stamps. I don't really use these in there anymore, or these, I think. This is the little icons pack, and I usually use the water bottle, and that is it from that. I don't have my little film strip looking thing, but this is from Studio Calico years ago, and I use that as my little meal icon. But I've kind of ruled that out. I think I'll end up putting the meals back in there for June, just to put them in there. And I might use some of that separating again to draw a line and do like workout down below or something, and keep the water bottle. But for now, I'm just gonna kind of enjoy the openness of May for a change. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I'm very, very, very behind in my daily pages, so I did want to call this out and talk about it a minute. If you can keep your planner with you and keep a pencil in your bag, I would highly recommend just jotting down things in pencil. Quotes, facts, what you did, funny things that happened, just whatever the case may be, doing it in pencil, because then you can go back and decorate or do whatever, and you don't feel so behind or so freaked out when you have like little doodles of what you might have been working on that day. Then you don't feel so crazy when you go to catch up. I definitely want to do a catch up with me. And that might be something that we can work on together. I'm not going to commit to that just yet. But yeah, that's what I highly recommend, is just doing it with a pencil. Okay, so let's see. First of all, let me let the dog in. She is Jack Russell and Dachshund mix, and she's 15 years old. So she's a little old bitty that doesn't like people, doesn't like other dogs. She's just a pretty cranky little old lady. Every now and then you'll catch a picture of her in like a flip through or something, but she's so quirky and funny. And if you hear a weird noise, it's because we're feeding her out of like one of the feeder balls, and she rolls it around and it sounds hilarious. Like it's like a box of rocks upstairs. So I have a love-hate, back to the planner. I have a love-hate with this, being totally honest. Where to begin? I might go back and do some stars in this yellow. My original inspiration was this really pretty printable that we got in Muggle Studies. And I was going to cut it up and like use the whole thing. Obviously that's not going to work. I need to kind of do like a shrink to size or something. And then I'm still going to washi tape my prompt list in here somehow of Jane Davenport that I printed. And then I used the original, let me see if I can find it. This is the original face base that James had. I don't know if this is still in there. I'll check. Also, another shout out about James. If you haven't watched any videos before this, I am a course ambassador for Memory to Memento. I can put the affiliate link that I have down below. The thing is, with that link, I do get some proceeds of that class purchase, which if you don't want to contribute to that, that's completely fine. You can go through his stuff and purchase it separately. I would greatly appreciate it if you would purchase it through the affiliate link, only because that allows me to keep creating and buying pretty things to play with. I'm gonna just go really rogue. Now, I think the reason I didn't do this is because it wasn't dry. But I just used my watercolors to kind of create that blue base. And then I threw a stencil over what is it? It's a Dylusion. I put it upstairs. It's a Dylusion stencil. It's the big stencil of stars that she has. And I used that over top, which is why some of the stars are really not watery and some are, because as the brush dried out, it wasn't as sloppy. So there was that. And this is a Pilot G2.38. It is not friendly with anything. I'll be honest with you there. You have to wait until everything is dry, and you have to wait until it's dry before you do anything over top of it. I don't know that I like this any more or less, but hey, we're trying. Okay, so I used this pen, and then I used a Prismacolor brush marker pen, brush tip marker. And I really like them. I do recommend these. And I brush lettered so much to do because in May, because I was so backed up from everything I was doing in April, I had 2 journals to make for a giveaway that I did back in March. I had so much of my Hobonichi to catch up on, both in 2019 and 2020. Mermaid was coming, and I really wanted to do it again, especially, like I said before, that the prompts were repeating themselves. So, not all of them, just some of them. And I wanted to do a side-by-side of those. And I feel like, oh, and obviously wrapping everything up because the possibility of me going back to work was really high. Now I know I'm not going back to the first week of June. So that's really exciting. So it looks like we will start like June 1st, I think. So there was that. So for her, back to her, because I got lost on a tangent, I used that face base stamp and then just drew over top. What I do like is the coloring of her tail. I don't know that I love the doodle style. I think I just went with that so it was cohesive. And I don't really love her hair. I love the shape of it. I don't love all the black in it. That's a very old way of me doing hair. And I have since learned how not to have to do that. But I was getting really frustrated. And it was overworked, and I really needed to just be done with it and walk away. So I think I've covered everything. The white gel pen I use is the Tried and True Uniball Signo Broad. Highly recommend. I recommend this over Posca and anybody and everybody else. The brush pens I tend to use are the Jane Davenport Broad and Fine. I really need to figure out a way to label them a little bit better because it looks like they're gonna peel off eventually. But that's it. And then it just kind of goes into all of my notes that I've been taking along and along. So I am gonna package this guy up and clean this desk off. And I think I'm gonna go finish a movie. I've been watching the Aladdin, the newer Aladdin. I'm an OG Aladdin lover. I do like the new one though. And it's, if you follow James Burt Creative, you know that he'll do a thing called Sketch Flicks. And it's giving me Sketch Flicks vibes. Like it immediately gave me a bunch of ideas and inspiration. So I think I'm gonna clean up and go Sketch Flicks a little bit and just unwind. But thank you guys for tuning in. That's kind of all the updates I have for you right now, that we're not going to be doing any more Instagram lives. So don't stress about it if you didn't get on today. I hate it. hopefully we can get to 1,000 soon. That would be swell, but we've got quite a ways to go on that. But once we get there, we can certainly start doing things like live streams that are planned as well, so that we can all be here together. That would be fantastic, and I would love that so much. So tell your friends, hit the like button, subscribe. Shameless plug. But I hope you guys enjoyed the flip through. I'm so sorry for all the confusion and the rambling, but thank you guys for all of the support that you give me. I'll put as many of the links as I can down below that I can remember. And I hope you guys are all having a fantastic May. Feel free to follow me and tag me if you want me to look at your May stuff or your planner stuff or have a question. Just throw it down there. I'm happy to answer. Thank you guys so much again, and have a wonderful Saturday.